Yes, sir, if you'd introduce yourself and...
My name's Adam Hunt with Level Design Group on behalf of Ajax United Drive LLC. To talk about the project for the additional parking at 35 United Drive. Previously, Nick Fasandola from our office presented back during the summer. And since then, we had to do some soil testing, which substantially changed our design. So bring up the grading plan for a minute. Groundwater was higher than we had designed for, so we had to revise our design to provide cover and use lower profile systems in order to get everything to work and to comply with stormwater standards. But let me back up a bit. The project is for, as I said, for additional parking for the MBTA. The existing building is a 3-story office warehouse building. And we're proposing 166 spaces. It's a redevelopment over an existing gravel and paved area. It's a reduction in the total area, but it's gravel, so we're actually increasing the total impervious, and the curve number doesn't go up, but it's very slightly. As I said, 166 spaces. Provides snow storage along the front of the building, and an area along the back parking here.
Are those two areas sufficient for the snow? I don't know, that's a big...
Let me bring up the existing, the larger scale exists. Oh yeah, that should be this one. Our proposed area only shows this area, but we could provide snow storage in this area here. There was a couple of areas that we looked at.
If you could go back to that other
Sure.
shot that you had. You're showing an area up here.
Yes.
And an area down here.
Yeah.
But in reality, with it, something they're going to go in there and they're going to want to push here and there and just push it to the side. They're not going to want to have to push it all the way down there and pile it up and push it all the way up.
Right.
The pile. So what is that in there?
That's what here?
That line?
This is a wall, retaining wall.
So is it the parking lot is higher than the natural
Yes.
ground?
Yes.
Is that within where's the 50-foot buffer for the?
Yeah, right there, right along there.
Have you been before conservation?
Yes. We have submitted to conservation. We've been
And
continued those as well.
And they agreed to?
We haven't presented yet. We've been continuing that for all 3 projects.
Okay.
So we haven't.
Because I know quite often they are concerned with putting snow into wetland areas.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're probably going to say, if they do, they're not going to allow you to put any in there.
Right. That's what this would be the obvious answer. Place without the
maybe
wetlands.
a little bit in there, but because you're not affecting a neighbor, but just for your client's own good, we want something that'll work. We don't want to find after a snowstorm you've lost a quarter of your parking,
Right.
Because and then now they're all out in the streets and they're causing a traffic hazard or whatnot with all the stuff. So that's the reason for asking it. So that's why we found that snow storage is not always addressed thoroughly. That's why. It's a couple of things we ask: snow storage and lights. But yes, Jerry.
My problem is they keep talking about strictly this area of parking. Most likely, Ajax, or whatever the name of the company is going to contract one person to do, it's 32 doors down that parking's gonna be done too. So you hire a guy, guy comes in at 2 o'clock in the morning, he's not gonna be looking at a piece of paper that says, I plow snow here, plow snow here. You've got, well, it's gotta be 1,000 feet of building and parking lot that's gonna get pushed to the end, because he's gonna come in the driveway, which is over in this area. And they're gonna do it the easiest way they can to where the snow goes. So, I mean, yes, you're looking to pave that gravelled area, but the whole building is, the whole parking area and that whole side is, the snow is gonna go probably to one spot. It could go south, could go down near the water tank at the other end of the parking lot, but
To move it all to one spot, they're gonna try to pile it as quickly as they can.
and that's not gonna be plowed with a pickup truck.
Where's it plowed to now? would
And I
imagine
believe
that-
it, I offhand don't, but I'm guessing it goes down towards Manly's, towards United Drive, near where the big water tank is. It's gonna go in that area there, but then you,
Jerry, you mean down
way down there, where the whole building. Do you have a picture of the whole site?
This is the biggest scale.
Yeah, see, there's a water tank
Yeah.
here. This is the driveway coming in. So, somebody coming in is gonna come in this driveway, it's gonna plow some this way. They're gonna come in and they're gonna plow this way. This isn't gonna be plowed with a pickup truck. This is gonna be with a good-sized front-end loader, probably with one of those big snow scoops.
Yep.
So,
That's
I mean,
what I
we're
was-
dealing with a site plan of additional parking, but we're also dealing with existing lot that's there.
Well, that's what I was asking. It's almost, it sounds like then that at least half that lot, they plow into the gravel area right now.
Right now, and around there.
Yeah.
But that does have access. There's loam, there's a short section of loam and sand on the backside. That building was, when it was designed, was supposed to have solid enough so that fire apparatus could get around the whole building. But some of, I mean, it isn't all paved. There's probably, I'm gonna say, 300 feet on the back corner of it that is solid, but could be, because it's gated, there's a gate there. Because you can come right in off by the office building, drive all the way down, around, part way around. But it's, the thing is we're not dealing with an issue of just that, the additional parking. This existing parking, that's, snow doesn't fall in just one spot. So, I mean, we have to look at it, the overall whole site where the snow's going compared to, and that building, I believe, is totally empty, except for the office buildings now. It looks it.
I just know that they're going to be using it for storage, for what, I'm not sure. Yeah, don't know exactly what they
It's
have.
gonna have to, they're gonna be putting bigger doors to drive into that building? Or is
No.
it gonna be used
No.
warehousing doors?
This is gonna be all regular doors here. This is all just, there's no loading going on here.
There's only one, because there's only one garage door, relatively small, on that back side.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're gonna, what, use, back up and bring stuff in through the overhead doors that are existing?
As far as I know, yes, because this isn't gonna be any,
This is gonna be a dry storage type stuff? No vehicles?
no truck access here on the, along this side. There won't, this one spot, I think it's just going to be a regular door, and all these pads are gonna be eliminated and a sidewalk in its place. Or this one other door, actually.
Because what's going on the inside is also, should be part of what the site
Yeah,
plan,
yeah.
because it's in the watershed protection.
Which is,
So what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
well,
if they're gonna be
that would
bringing, if they're gonna be bringing in cars to that door and parking something with a motor inside, it's different than if they're gonna be backing up and unloading pallets of dry goods.
let's get through the outside, then we'll talk about that afterwards.
But the snow, I mean,
And it's an issue.
I plowed a lot of snow, and I think I've broken a lot of rules doing it too. It's the middle of the night, you're trying to move, and you get a big snowstorm, it don't cooperate.
Okay, let's continue on, and then we'll.
So back to the grading plan.
So it's basically that area is the only area that you're going to be altering? Is it?
Yes, it's
You're not.
saw cut line around here where we start to grade up in order to get up to a high point, and then, which actually ties into what I'm about to say, is that we had to essentially pitch everything back and gutter everything along the edge of the sidewalk because of the groundwater. Initially, we had it designed to pitch away from the building and continue on that way, and everything was caught along this edge generally. But groundwater being what it was, in order to get a shallower system even, and to get the cover, it put the grade higher than the existing building, or about the same. So we needed to make the outside edge the high point, and essentially it's an up and down situation. We have 6 catch basins along the sidewalk, all going to either being a treatment unit or going to a treatment unit. Everything gets pre-treated before infiltration, which there are 3 separate infiltration systems. There is one section that doesn't get infiltrated, but it doesn't, we meet the infiltration requirement for volume, and we're able to attenuate to meet the pre-development rates. So this portion doesn't go to the system. There's no detainment or infiltration, but it does get treated by a storm scepter unit, and it's directly discharged to a flared end structure there with riprap. Everything else ties in on the outlets of these 3 infiltration systems to a manhole, which it discharges to grade.
Okay, so have you been to the conservation under the for the stormwater design?
No, we haven't presented yet.
Okay, so we're really, we're getting ahead of ourselves, I think, on this, if you haven't done that, because that's important, because the water, the drainage water you're putting into the ground is going, it's only a quarter mile away. It's one of our wells, so that's why you're in it. So I think we've got to know that is done before we go too much
Sure.
Further. Also, along that same line, these plans are sent out to all the town departments, and we usually don't get too many responses, but this particular one, the building department did respond. They're requesting a written mitigation plan, employee training in case of accidental discharge into the both inside and outside the power line. Show on plans what mitigation supply products there will be on hand in case of an incident. This would also include the tractor trailers on site, fuel and oil discharges. They should have a small shed outside with the bare minimum mitigation supply, speedy dry sorbents and absorbent pads, biohazard pads such as pillows and mats, disposable bags or bins, etc. And 2, if applicable, install bollards around gas meters, electric meters, and other equipment that are relative to any danger of being struck. So that's what the building inspector had to say on it. One of the things, we get 2 things here: site plan approval and the water resource special permit, which the water resource special permit is the most important one. What is going to be going on, because it's certain activities that are not allowed? You say that it's going to be a warehouse, or it's a warehouse, and the MBTA is going to be running it. But what are they doing? I know in the past, when the plantation products were in there, we knew exactly what they were doing. what kind of materials they were having there. Around the corner, it's a place that manufactures food products, and we know exactly what kind of stuff is going here. But this, saying the MBTA is coming in here, now are they bringing old equipment down here to tear apart and
I
rebuild?
honestly don't
Are
know
they-
at this point what
Or are
they're
they going to
storing.
be storing de-icing chemicals that they're going to use on the tractors? We don't know. We've got to have something in there because it is pertinent.
Mm.
And so I think, whether the conservation, because we have a wetland bylaw, and one of the things in it is a 50-foot no-touch zone.
Yeah.
And you're in that, so
Yeah.
that's certainly could change the whole thing here. Reviewing it for the drainage, and the important thing in here is whatever is going in there can be filtered out or captured if it has to, that there is provisions if there are any spills that it can be captured before it gets down into it. And then the last thing, so I kind of think we're in a place, and when we first saw it, that was one of our questions too, because what is going into it, and we still haven't heard. And is there anything more that we should get out before we ask you to ask for a continuance?
No, I don't think so. I think pretty much.
Basically, until conservation is
Happy.
happy, it isn't worth us looking at it.
I got one question. All right, so you got the parking lot pitched towards the building.
Mhm.
And then you have a 6-inch curb. Like,
It-
what's the grade difference between, like, a basin and the door sill? Say if in the winter, these basins are all plugged up with snow, and all of a sudden we get 3 or 4 inches of rain, and you got that entire parking lot pitched towards the building.
Mhm.
What are the chances of that water getting up over the curb and into the building?
Well, it is a full curb. It transitions for portions. Actually, it's higher than full. It's just because we had to try and get as much as we could length out of it. I think it varies from 0.3 to 0.7 just to try and get it so that we weren't putting in a million catch basins. But for the most part, it's full curb. And naturally, it's not ideal to have pitched that way. We wanted to go that way throughout, but we created a gutter, naturally, the sidewalk pitching at about 1.5% outward.
But, all right, so how much higher is, like, the wetland end higher than the curb? So what's a pitch of the parking lot?
About 1%, pretty much minimum drainage, about 1%. I mean, it's coming in here, this is pretty steep, about 4 to 5%, but generally, everything's about 1%. Even going up and down this way is 1%, and then here is generally 1%, give or take.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I mean, we've got Kmart flooded all the time, you know. I'm just worried that, since you're pitching towards the building, do you have enough elevation to contain that water? If all the basins get clogged up for some odd, snow or something like that, is that gonna jump the curb and go into the building?
I mean, it's got the 6 inches or more. I would think not. I mean, 100-year, we haven't modeled anything to try to show such a thing, but I think if the basins are kept fairly clean, it should be okay. I mean, obviously, that's,
That overhead door, is that gonna stay there if it's on the back of the building?
Which door?
The overhead door on the immediate back of the building, it's about 50
Oh.
feet up from the corner.
Right here?
Yeah. Is that gonna stay, or is that gonna be?
It's gonna be revised to be,
That's at ground level. That is perfectly level with the floor. So you're saying you're gonna put a curbing there in front of that door?
No, this is the only spot that doesn't have curbing.
Well, then that's the only spot the water's gonna run in.
Well, no, it still pitches down. It's a percent going in each direction. That would be the worst spot, the only spot.
I would
that
say
doesn't-
if you would have to put some sort of a trench drain in front of that door to collect any water, otherwise it's gonna run right in the building.
Well, it's created as a ridge line. Essentially, we have ridge lines every, whatever it is, 60 feet or so, 60 or 70 feet. And this is going up and down, so you have a percent this way, and these are going this way. Understandably, if it has some velocity, it could come up a bit, but it's gonna wanna flow to these catch basins as well. So these are all high points in between, and this kind of waffles up and down. This comes this way, but then these spots at the catch basins are lower, and that's where you get change and reveal.
Are your downspouts in the building going into your water retention system?
No,
So they're gonna be dumping into the parking lot? That building has almost 15 acres of roof.
but in the apples to apples comparison from pre to post, we
The
use
building
the
is
same-
there, the building isn't gonna move.
Right.
But you're saying you want all the water to run towards the building,
Well, it's toward the building, but
and then it's gonna go in drains.
Yeah.
I have a problem.
Which building is that now? Is that the one that,
It's the original Chadwicks,
yeah,
the one
well,
that's out back, not the tall one.
not the one that when you drive around that has the supposed to come down and run into that? It's not that one.
It's the one that's way out in back. If you drive in the side parking lot, take
Yeah.
a left, go down and around the back of the building.
Oh, okay.
That's where they want it. Because there's cat nine tails and wetlands growth on the back side
Everywhere.
of the retention, what they've got is a retaining wall. I have a problem accepting this plan as
Oh,
presented.
well, no, we know we gotta continue it because we got too many unanswered questions.
And I think a copy of our questions should be forwarded to the conservation.
You get through the conservation and then,
I mean, it used to be that we had to
say what we
say
don't.
what was going on, and our engineer could look at it. Now it's up to them doing it their way, so. So unless they're happy, there's nothing for us to look at.
Would you like to ask a continuation, and if so, what kind of time are you looking at?
Well, if we're looking at coming after conservation, then maybe that might change our request for the other ones as well.
Because conservation's gonna give the blessing on the other ones too.
Mhm.
And especially this one, I know they're going to be interested in. This isn't, some of them are fairly clear cut, some of them it isn't even any.
I mean, this is direct recharge area for the
Yeah,
wells.
yeah.
I mean, that goes across, down and
But
across the street.
it's right there with the wetlands, a difficult one, so. We gotta, it's gotta be to a date and time certain, so come up with a date and time certain that you think you can live with, and we'll take it from there.
Okay,
You're going to have to put it in writing.
okay, we'll just send you another letter.
Yeah, you could do that, send
Yeah,
it.
okay, once we're all con-
Because you might
Check
have to
whatever.
revise this one, because conservation needs to look at
Yeah.
the other one too.
Yeah, come up with it, but, yeah, send us an email, or a letter, you can
Yes,
do a letter,
yeah.
and we'll take it from there. Because we got some issues here, we wanna give you a chance to address them all, and.
Sure.
In all fairness to you,
Mhm.
the gentleman that was in initially was given all this, the same question,
Mhm.
so.
Okay then,
Okay.
so we will continue this meeting to a time and a date and time that you will send us a letter requesting it
Yes.
to. We meet on the first and third Wednesdays of the month. I don't know what day
The
Christmas comes
7th and
on,
the 14th.
but usually around then is a,
17th and 21st,
yeah, forget the 27th
7th rather, and
and,
21st in
yeah,
December.
forget the 21st, so it's either before or after that.
I make a suggestion that they do it after the new year.
Mhm.
Yeah, it probably will be.
Mhm.
But, so, we will continue the hearing till the date that you feel comfortable with and come up with.
Okay,
All right?
we'll send you a letter.
Okay. And while you're here, since you're doing 38, we have a email from the Mr. White, the building commissioner. There are parking cars, and some of them look to be abandoned across the street, the big gravel parking lot.
Mhm.
There's, had a couple of, half a dozen cars at a time, a couple things. Now, if those are just abandoned cars or anything there, they can't do that. Just abandoning cars like that. You know, if the gas tank leaks out or something, who knows? You know, if they're not, so they should be, whoever owns it should
Mhm.
address it, get a record down there and call them to the junkyard if
Okay,
just get them out of there.
all right.
If by chance they are registered and they are somebody working there, that's a different
Yeah.
story. But these appeared, he said they appeared to be abandoned cars. So,
There's some that have been there quite a while.
yeah, I know, it looks, so just get rid of them. We don't care how.
All right,
All right, okay, thank you.
thank you.
Okay. Get through.
These people